Hey guys, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope it's a good day for you. My name is Carlson Chimanga and I am the founder of acquisitionboss.com. So basically, we are a business acquisition community that is helping young people become their own boss via acquiring successful small businesses. Okay, I'm a small business owner myself and I got into business by acquisition. And that's a whole different story. I'm going to do a video on that on my entire process on how I was able to purchase a company for about $650,000, and then I ended up buying more trucks for about $200,000 at this point, and basically been able to get this done purely by acquisition. And that's the general idea of this community. But before we do that, right? I want to take today to kind of do a video on why is it important to do this in the first place. Keep in mind, the only reason why most people get into business is to make money. Now, when I say most people, I don't mean everybody, because it's people that actually have kind of a personal value or addition to their business. For example, people who are in healthcare, right? They love to take care of other people, and that's great. They want to give human care. Maybe people who are into doing movies or people who work in the food service industry, right? They have a passion, like my mom. My mom has a passion for making great food that people enjoy. Yes, she makes money out of it, but she really loves to give people food that fills them up and makes them happy and satisfy them. That's a passion, and that's great. But guys, this is America, right? And I say this because I'm primarily based here in the United States. But even anywhere else in the world, if we have 100 people going into business, just about 40% of them are doing it for the passion and the money. The majority of people are doing it primarily for the money. And I want to talk about that today because we're now in kind of the woke age where people like to sound like wanting stuff for the money is bad. It's not. Wanting stuff for the money is great. Now, I want to kind of go into money for a little bit and create a mindset shift that I have had to adapt that has permitted me to go to this next level. Now, let's talk about money for a minute. What really is money? And I feel like a lot of people misunderstand this, at least I misunderstood it. And that's kind of why I didn't really go harder into doing more for myself than as soon as I could. There were all these people saying stuff about you're just gonna make enough money to leave. You just have to, money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't grow on trees. All this stuff. That's not true. That's just a lie. And I don't think that people are out here spreading information to be necessarily malicious. They have intention of any harm. They're just misinformed. And the problem with misinformation is that whether it's intentional or it is unintentional, it causes a problem for whoever adopts that mindset, because your mindset is how you live your life. Your mindset kind of generates into what you do, what you say, what you believe. It's your belief system. And guys, if you have a wrong belief system about money, you're going to struggle. There is just no other way around it. So what I want to share for you guys today is basically what I have built my belief system for money to be and how it's really working out for me. Now, when I wanted to understand money, I had to go back all the way and really understand, where did money come from? People back in the day didn't have money. They did trade by barter. What does that mean? You have eggs and I have salt. You want some salt and I want some eggs. We exchange stuff and everyone is good. And the goal for money wasn't necessarily for people to be happy. And this is the first myth that kind of really destroys this idea that money doesn't buy happiness. Money was never intended to buy happiness. If anyone ever tells you that, tell them it's a lie. Can money make you happy? Yes, but it was never intended to buy happiness. Okay? Money was intended to serve as a means of exchange of value. That is the goal. Can it buy happiness? Yes. Was it intended to buy happiness? No, not at all. It was intended as a means of value between different people, because bartering stuff didn't make sense at some point. Okay? If you're in China and I'm in freaking South Africa, how can we barter stuff? It doesn't make sense. We need something that says that, okay, this is a standard. How many of this equal to how many of that? And how can we use that to exchange? That was the goal of money. And think of it this way, right? If you have money and you don't do anything with it. Does it do anything for you? The answer is no. If I gave you $10 million and I locked you up in a jail cell and you're in there alone with literally $10 million stacked by you, is that going to do anything for you? No, it's not. Because yes, you have the money, but you can't eat the money in and of itself, right? It is only valuable until it is exchanged with someone for something. So that money sitting down there might be a store of value, but in and of itself, it's not valuable until it is actually put into use. Like, does that get you? Because that gets me, right? And I had to understand this to really shift my mindset around money. So it is not intended to make anybody happy. It is intended to serve as a value of exchange for all of us. That's why we go out to get it. So we can pay our bills, so we can buy food for our children, so we can put gas in our car, so we can contribute to our church, so we can help pay for hospital bills for our parents who are sick. That's the intent. It's an exchange of value. So let's dispel that myth once and for all. Number two, what is money really? People talk about all this a lot. I don't have money. I don't have money. For me, I had to really go and find out. And we call a lot of things money, but we classify them as a whole, and there's different kinds of money, right? There's currency. What's currency? The US dollar is a currency. The Canadian dollar is a currency. The Cameroonian or Central African franc CFA is a currency. What does that mean? That one is only accepted somewhere. The other will not be accepted here, all right? I have 1,000 franc CFA bill, which if I took somewhere right now, they wouldn't accept it because guess what? That currency is not acceptable in America. It's just not. That's a fact. But the vice versa is true. The dollar is accepted in Cameroon because it's the dollar. It's kind of the world reserve currency, right? So money can be currency. Money can also be credit history. What does that mean? It shows that you pay your bills on time. If you have all the money in the world and you go do a big project to borrow more money, but you have bad credit, guess what? Nobody's going to want to work with you because it means you do not pay your bills on time. People don't like that. People like to see that others are paying their bills on time. It means you're going to pay me back. That's a kind of money too. Money is also cash. Have you ever been somewhere and they don't take cards and you have no cash, but you have all this money in your account and then you're stranded? At that point, can you say you don't have money? Technically you do, you just don't have cash. So money can be digital or physical, right? And the one in your phone in your account is digital. The one you have, literally cash, that's actual cash money. The beauty of it is that we're in a digital age. Did you know that about 80% of the money in the world is digital money? Only about 20% is actual cash. Think about it. Like, when was the last time you had $10,000 in cash? Unless you're into a cash intensive deal, you probably didn't. But most people can boast of having $10,000 in their accounts. Hell, I was talking to a friend yesterday who had about $200,000 in her account. Like, she showed me the picture. She's into business too, right? I have a reasonable amount of money too in my account, but she didn't have any cash in her. That's digital money. So it can be digital or cash. Money too can be credit. The money which other people loan you, right? So you have some that's yours, you have some that has been loaned to you from a bank. And 9 times out of 10 is digital, unless you go get a cash advance. You see what I'm saying? So now we're going back between that. Is it cash or is it digital? Money also can be how the money flows. If you have bought a house, you know this. What are some of the things that they keep in mind when you're trying to buy a house? Credit history, yes. A down payment, yes. But also cash flow. They want to see that you have money constantly coming in, that you just do not have money right now, and then that's it. Because when they see a history of money, then they can know that there's also going to be a continuous history for you to pay down that loan. So having a good credit profile that says you pay your bills is one thing, but if you also cannot prove that you have cash flow, sustainable cash flow, guess what? You're not in the best position. So cash flow is money as well, right? And the most successful people have all of this. And the last part of it is amount, right? How much of it do you have? So if you have a lot of currency, if you have good credit history, if you have decent amount of cash, you have good credit cards, you have good amount of cash flow, but it's not a lot. What does that do for you? Not so much. You're barely middle class. You're barely getting by. So all of these things factor into what we call money. So there's so many scenarios where people are saying that, guess what? I do not have money. They're saying that they do not have one of those things at the moment. Sometimes you can be asset rich but cash poor. I've been in that situation. Hell, I get to be in that situation a few times in a year. And what I have to do is to tap into my credit lines to be able to run my business and sometimes my personal life. And then eventually the money comes and then I pay it back, right? There's times when also I might have cash, but I don't have a good amount of credit. Or there's times when I might have credit, but not enough cash. So people always kind of go back and forth. So keep in mind when you're saying you don't have money, you need to really know what it is you're talking about at the time. Are you saying you don't have cash? As in actual hardcore money? Are you saying you have nothing in your account as in digital money? Are you saying your cash flow is kind of slow right now, that you know that you have money coming in next week, but you need money now? Are you saying that your credit is kind of shrink because you're trying to go borrow $100,000 to do something, but they're only giving you 50? What exactly are you saying, right? We like to group all of this into one. And for me personally, I've really learned that being able to identify exactly what problem I'm trying to solve at the time clarifies things for me, right? I can easily say, okay, this is exactly what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to get more cash. I'm trying to get more cash flow. I'm trying to get more credit. I'm trying to increase my liquidity. All of that are different kinds of money, okay? And it really matters to understand this. Now, the other thing I want to get into is about money. People like to say, I went and made money. I went and made money. First of all, nobody can make money unless you are the central bank of any country or any group of countries that use the same money. And I say group because, as most of you know, or if you do not know, I'm originally from Cameroon in West Africa, and we do not have our own currency. We teamed up with a bunch of other African countries to share one currency that's called the franc CFA. So there's Cameroon, there's Gabon, Chad, I think there's Ivory Coast, but basically they're called the West African something that they use the same currency. And one central bank prints that money. In the United States, the Federal Reserve determines is the one who prints money. The US Mint, that's controlled by the Federal Reserve, is the one who prints money. They are the only one who make money. The rest of us, we simply collect the money. This is a very tiny mindset shift, but guys, as soon as I really processed it, it made sense for me, because what it means is that I cannot make money, I can only collect it. So now I have to understand that if I do not have money, it means I'm not collecting enough. And why am I not collecting enough? That's a question I have to answer. And the next thing is basically output versus money collected, right? Or versus income. I used to be so focused on my income. But one day I realized, I'm like, wait a second. How is the only way I'm getting money right now? I'm collecting it because I'm offering a service. Well, why are they not giving me more of it? I had to go answer that question. And when I began to answer that question, I began to understand, okay, they can only pay me so much an hour. They can only pay me so much a year for them to run a good business. I could try to increase my value and get promotions for different roles, but at some point, I could only grow so fast. So if I wanted to collect more money, not make, because I'm not the US Mint in this case, right? If I wanted to collect more money, I had to find a way to do more where possible. And it wasn't in my job. And I had a great job at the time. I still have a great job at this current moment, but they can only pay me so much. I can only collect so much from them because at the end of the day, they are a business and they have a particular role, and I am in that role, and this is what that role pays, period. I could try to go for a higher role, but I can only move up reasonably fast enough for the company policies. I can ask for a raise and I might get 10% more, but what's that really gonna do for me? I had to make that shift. And guys, I'm saying this because it's really worked for me. I don't want to sit here and preach to anybody. This is just what has worked for me. Once I understood this, my mindset changed. So I said, okay, how can I collect more money? And so I had to focus on two things: my output and the marketplace. Because if I can increase my output, then it's possible I can collect more money. But if I'm increasing an output to a marketplace that doesn't want it, then they're not gonna give me money. I'm not gonna be able to collect it because that marketplace doesn't value that output. So I had to understand those two things. So my mindset kind of shifted from focusing on how much I'm collecting to how much I'm producing. Do you see where I'm going with this? It had to become how much I'm actually putting out there, and does the marketplace value that, right? That's really how it had to shift for me. So for me, I've had to focus on the output highest and nothing else. And that was really my idea for today's video, to kind of define or to kind of set up the framework for money before we even begin to talk about how to make more of it. So to summarize, number one, money was never meant to make anybody happy. It was meant to become a means of exchange. Now, if you go exchange money and get stuff, can they make your life better and hence make you happy? Yes. Was money itself created to make anybody happy? No. Very important. Also, money comes in different forms. I had to learn to understand the different forms of money, okay? And then number three, I cannot make money. You cannot make money unless you work for the US Mint, right? We collect money. Very important. So if we focus on our output, because nobody will give us money for free, right? Like the other day I went to the gas station, and I have this bad habit where sometimes I'm driving and my car says, put gas, and maybe I'm running late. And I'm like, you know what? I know my car. If you're in that boat, welcome, okay? It's not just you. I do it too. And I say, you know what? I can do 30 more miles because I'm trying to rush somewhere. And then I'm trying to get home to get my daughter because I'm running late. Then I don't put that gas. And then it gets to a point where it's really almost dragging. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to put gas. So at that point, I'm driving to the gas station hoping that this car doesn't stop. Trust me, it's bad. I'm working on it, okay? But the other day, that happened, and I get to the gas station, and guess what? I forgot my wallet. True story. I forgot my wallet in my other car because I was in the other car the other day. So I'm at the wallet. I know that I'm at the gas station. I know that this car cannot go any further than this gas station. It would stop in a mile, and I did not have my wallet. But guess what? I do have my phone and I have Apple Pay. So I'm like, great, I could go in and do Apple Pay, right? But guess what? I go into the gas station, I got a sign in front that says, be back in 10 minutes, gone to the bathroom. The gas station attendant is not there. In that moment, two of these lessons I just spoke about, they hit me. Number one, in that moment, I have digital money because keep in mind, what is Apple Pay or Android Pay or Alipay, wherever you are in the world, right? It's basically a form of digital payment, right? So I have digital money in my phone, but I can only access it through my phone. I don't have a credit card on me and I have no cash. So in that moment, if that gas station attendant didn't come back for another 20 minutes, which is what happened, I sat there just wasting time because I had digital money and no physical money. Like, do you see the mindset shift? And then also, in that moment, if I didn't have my phone, I would really be screwed. Because guess what? Nobody would give me that gas for free. Like, is that crazy to you? And in that moment, I wasn't trying to be happy. I just needed gas to keep on with my day, to go to work. But if I didn't have money to be able to access that product, to exchange that value, I would have been there all day unless someone decided to help me. So this is how critical money is. And for me, having to understand this stuff has really been a shift and has made me kind of really be able to zoom into money more with no shame. So now when I'm around people and I'm talking about money a lot and they tell me you talk about money a lot, and I'm like, guess what? You do not talk about money enough. I do, because it's important. The world runs on money. That's how we exchange value. I mean, the world really runs on people, but if people had no way of exchanging value and holding each other accountable, then we're just back to caveman days where you just have to beat someone over on the head with a club or a piece of wood to get food, or to steal their freaking wife, or to get whatever they're trying to exchange. So money is vital, and this is really what for me, this has given me permission to be so obsessed about money, about how to collect more of it, about how to leverage it, about how to build a business that generates more of it. I say this for myself because having this mindset shift has catapulted me into a different life over the past years. And I really, really hope that it does the same for you. So anyway, that's my video for today. If you're new to this space, once more, my name is Carlson Chimanga. I'm a small business owner. I'm the creator of Acquisition Boss. We are a community that's focusing on getting more people to become their own bosses by business acquisition, and we're going to show people how to do that. In excess of that, we're just gonna share, or I am gonna share a lot of just videos about things that have worked for me, about mindset shifts, about ideas that have helped make my life better, and it's my hope that it makes your own life better. All right, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.